So I thought I'd hop on Reddit to see what's new in the whole Reddit sphere. Shout out to Mellowed Vetter posting this video. I listened to it about 5 seconds and I was like, you know what? This is a new scenario. He's in a vehicle, and I want to give like a live reaction to this. Let's go for it.
There, I just had a really good talk with a friend who is still in Los Angeles about the state of people these days and how I have been in kind of like this walled garden bubble for a few years now, and I didn't realize how bad it's gotten. And it took a little bit of a toll on me, and now I'm making some good changes, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about this a little bit. I hadn't looked back in a while. Like, there's this biblical idea of don't look back at Babylon, or don't look back at Sodom. Blood burns, you turn to salt. And I've just been looking forward, the Bertaria, onward. And I look back by being back on Twitter, and it's not that people were mean to me or anything like that. Like, none of that bothers me. I used to be a professional heckler at a Renaissance festival. Like, insults I actually find when they're done well to be great. It's this, like, low vibrational despair, hopeless, mean acceptance of lying.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause that, interrupt him. That is exactly, it's some religions, some cultures call that karma. And you're getting yours. One of the worst things that you can possibly be is a hypocrite. And I mean that with the utmost. A hypocrite is what Owen is. And so he is living in real time his own personal. You give what you get. You get what you give. You reap what you sow. Okay.
And when people accept lying, accept deception, accept this like rancid way of treating each other, it's because they have no hope. It's like there's no reason not to.
Okay, this is where it gets into like murky waters. What he's talking about is how people are treating him. All of these people that are calling him out on his crap, he's blaming them for treating him like crap because he deserves to be. He can't see that he deserves to be treated that way. He's trying to make it make sense, and you can't make it make sense without looking at yourself, and he is unable to look at himself. That is insane.
Might as well do it, and I experienced this in Eastern Europe a little bit, that there were areas that were kind of like that in the post-communist collapse regions where it's like, why not just drink all day? Why tell the truth? Like, there's no point. And that's a really dangerous way to live. And people sometimes tell me that I have an echo chamber or I live in a bubble. And I thank God for my echo chamber. And I think it's a really good thing to do now, because I was talking to my friend about this, that there's so much despair.
This echo chamber that he thanks God for is going to turn into a jail cell. Or I think it already has. It's getting smaller and smaller, and he can't. He used to be like, I want the chat. I've seen clips of him saying, I want the chat to get down to 500. Well, it's probably down to 50. And he probably has every bit of 7. He said he had thousands of people on the app. I think there's every bit of 17. I don't know why I think that, but that's what I think. It's a strong 17. This is sad, really.
Now, like, because I haven't toured in years. I was off Twitter, in a bubble, and I thank God for my echo chamber. And I think it's a really good thing to do now, because I was talking to my friend about this, that there's so much despair now. Like, because I haven't toured in years. I was off Twitter, kicked out of Facebook, all that stuff. And to go back and to look, it's changed so much. Like, it's gotten so bad where, kids are now just like fighting and, chopping off their weenuses and everything. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's like a descent, and life isn't descending. It's an illusion. It's like, it's people are accepting this lack of hope, this despair, this lying. And you might think I'm wrong. You might think I'm crazy, but I'm not lying. But the amount of people that are lying is wild. And it's not a religious thing either. Some of the worst behavior I'm witnessing is out of the zealots, the cynical nature of it, the deeply cynical zealotry of the acceptance of lying and force. And so me and my friend think that there's just going to be this mass die-off because you can't live without hope. You can't live with lying, because then you end up fooling yourself.
So if I'm not mistaken, it sounds like he's back on the Armageddon train once again. The fearmongering. There's going to be a large, massive die-off. There's going to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that are going to die because y'all don't like me anymore. Owen Benjamin.
Ultimate duper's dupe is on himself. And so we got to just hold on and keep building and not look at this shit, because it's, in Islam, they have a strong focus on protecting your eyes and your ears. Like, don't let that in, don't.
This is the Scientology thing. This is don't go to Reddit. This is don't watch any videos that go against me. This is stay away from negativity. That's one of the aspects of the cult mentality. Dude, you're so transparent, right? Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Oh, man.
They're at it. Because I can see these jackals and hyenas. It's like, oh, the Epstein flight logs are coming out. And everyone's just like, oh, there's a new movie about child sex trafficking. And they justify it to themselves that they're waking people up, or they're like, they're spreading awareness, when really they're just watching a form of pornography, like fear porn, anger porn, despair porn. And I'm not trying to sit on my high horse and judge people. I'm a deeply flawed person. I have my own struggles and everything, but not like what I witnessed on Twitter. And it shook me a little bit. It shook me to see, and I know a lot of people are robots, and I know a lot of that stuff, but a lot aren't. And
so does he genuinely think that actual people are robots? Or was that a statement of there are bots on Twitter?
And I'm going to stay in my walled garden, and that's what paradise is. That's what Eden is a walled garden where you only control what you can control. And it isn't helpful to expose yourself to the filth all the time. I think social media is poison. That's why we created our own that doesn't allow the filth on it. And you can call it an echo chamber. Well, so is a symphony. I think more and more people are going to want these echo chambers moving forward, because outside of it is hell. It's like really bad.
Whenever you're being held accountable for your actions and your words, that is hell. Especially whenever you don't know how to grow. A normal, healthy person does not need an echo chamber. It's not normal, and it's not healthy to do that. It is counterproductive to be in an echo chamber. It's one of the reasons why I say multiple times I don't delete comments on any of my videos. I don't care if you agree with me or disagree with me. This is insanity, is what this is.
Even people claiming that they're doing good, they're actually just spreading despair. Look at Hunter Biden's laptop. Look at him smoking crack. Look at him sucking a dick. Look at him. It's just like, why do you have to keep looking? And I looked back, and I had a horrible week. I felt that social cancer in me for the first time in years. And the good news is you can just look forward again, keep going, because that world is descending. It's almost like watching Gollum falling into Mount Doom, holding out of that ring. And it's just, people are just trying to tear each other down in a really unhealthy way. Not in the way that men try to tear down weakness, where you mock weakness.
You really have no idea what a man is, Owen. You have a fundamentally flawed perception of what a man is. A man can look himself in the mirror. A man can look other people in the eye and allow them to tell them what is wrong with them and take it into consideration. They don't blow up. They might get mad because that's human nature. Be angry and sin not. Get angry, but work on yourself, man. To say that you don't lie, that is one of the most insane things that a person can say, because those who say they don't lie more than most. That's craziness.
Mock bad behavior. You use insults to correct behavior. This is just like a den of snakes just stabbing each other, you know? And after talking about this on some live streams, I had awesome feedback about it. A lot of people feel the same way, and how important my stream is for them to listen to it and not feel alone, not feel hopeless, not feel this despair that's setting in. And the causes for it, I think there's a lot of causes. There's clearly a medical, physiological thing that people took 2 years ago. There's the social media hell algorithm. There's the perceived end of the empire. You know, the fiat system is starting to really the acceptance of deception in sports and justice and Hollywood and all this stuff, where people are feeling like the game's rigged, so they don't want to play anymore. So they take these pills and they just get online to try and tear down something beautiful. It's like in that movie Fight Club. I wanted to destroy something beautiful. And my recommendation to you guys, as someone that just experienced this on a visceral level, is build those walls. When I first built my fence, when I realized that Trump was not going to build a wall, I vowed that I would build my own wall. That every complaint I have, I would fix in my own microcosm. And that path has led me to a form of paradise. I had a friend and his woman over yesterday, and they said to me, they're like, this is like heaven. It's like my animals grazing in the pasture and the pink sky and the mountains and this beautifully manicured garden and the children playing. And
that was bought by other people's money that you lied about. You literally yelled at a close, I think he probably was a close friend. If you said a family friend, you yelled at your computer to the point to where it distorted the audio that the guy that kind of called you out a little bit and pointed something out directly in your life. That's what a man doesn't do, is whenever somebody that they know personally says something to them, they don't react the way you reacted. You're not a man, Owen. You sat there and you screamed at the camera for 7 minutes or so. You couldn't even make it an hour and a half. Your live stream was an hour and 25 minutes or so. And that was one of the few that I have watched all the way through. And you almost made it. You were still somewhat stupid and half mentally something, right? Because it was just crazy of what you were saying at certain points. But the last 7 minutes, you were yelling at the camera, telling the buddy of yours that tried to kind of guide you in the right direction of what might have been one of your downfalls, saying that him calling you out was inappropriate because his dad sold cocaine and that he lives off of his dad's money and drinks around heavy machinery. Owen, my guy, what do? You lie and you manipulate. You have your own cult. You verbally, physically, spiritually abuse your cult members and manipulate them into sending you money, gold, and silver.
My wife cooking, and they're like, this is like heaven. And I do believe that heaven and hell both exist in this realm while we're here. And I recommend you try and make your own. Hello there. I just had a really good
talk.
Try
to make your own heaven. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Yes. And it's by the grace, the mercy, the Holy Spirit of God Almighty. You can't make your own heaven. Owen, bro, let's go to the comment section. Let's see what's going on down here. The usual platitudes and projection. Okay. Shout out to Mellowed Vetter. I feel like I'm Owen reading his super chat. Mellow Vetter, dude, I like your post, man. Owen, afraid of all the despair outside his garden wall, so he's never leaving again. He stared into the abyss of Twitter. It's like so viscerally So much fear porn and lying. Eye rolling. Bad vibes. That's why everyone needs his streams, so they can escape. Come watch Owen's Heaven on your despair device. The usual platitudes and projection. Yes. My beautifully manicured garden. Yeah, when we've seen the pictures, I just hope you don't have poisonous snakes up there. I don't know why, I don't think there are, but I very well could be wrong. The world must look horrid to someone who's perfect. That is so true. What a load of poopy caca. This guy is describing himself and can't even see the forest through the trees. That reminds me of the Marilyn Manson song. You can't see the forest for the trees, and you can't smell your own on your knees. Owen is the despair, the con man, and the thief on the internet everyone should run from. Owen, your humble act won't work, and it's over. Go get a real job. Be a man and stop begging for money from your listeners. I caught part of the barricade garage thing, and the only part that I caught was him almost saying that he could use the chainsaw, and then he thought about it and was like, "You can't use a chainsaw, but you can drag some brush." Boom, dude needs to shut his yap trap and get a job like the rest of us working stiffs. True that, county coroner. Already streaming in his car this morning on Instagram late last night, and his show today is scheduled for 1. Oh. Huh. We'll see if at this point even managed to stay off Twitter. He's just mad he couldn't come by easy money over there. The guy The guy spends his entire life online, loses audience, once again has to fear porn his remaining audience to put up blinders to call. Yeah, I can't believe. That's the only thing that makes him money. Like, he made so much money during the pandemic. That was his golden calf, was the pandemic. And so it makes sense if you look at it like that. But you would think that a person would have more sense than that, more decency. It blows my mind that he said there's going to be a large amount of people dying off because you can't live in despair. Man. The guy spends his entire life online, loses audience, once again has to fear porn his remaining audience to put up blinders to all the other content and only watch him in heaven. Guys, we made the internet real life. Yeah, no, Owen. Step outside of your garden. Twitter isn't real life. You're the one constantly vomit pornographic garbage and fear porn, slander and blasphemy 24/7. Your live stream is that abyss. He never stops projecting, gaslighting, manipulating, lying, etc. It's insane. I can't believe. It really does blow my mind. And I'm probably naive or stupid or whatever. But to watch somebody do the same thing over and over and over while continuously defending the fact that they're not a liar, that they're not a thief, that they're not a blasphemer, that they're not a manipulator, and literally calling people he considers his enemies exactly what he is. Like, this is crazy. This is straight up Jim Bob's. I saw an interview with Jim Bob the other day, and it was an older one. And somebody asked him, I don't even remember who was asking him what it was on, but he made a comment that he kind of doesn't really appreciate, or I don't know, I might be remembering it wrong. But the point of it was that some people watch this as though it's like a soap opera, like it's entertaining or something. And I get that, and that's kind of why I am so into it. But it's more like the reason I would compare it to like true crime. Like, people love watching. One of our favorite YouTube channels is That Chapter. It's true crime stuff, and one of the reasons why it's interesting to me is because I like to see what makes people do certain things that I would almost say normal people would find inconceivable. Anyways, hey, Owen, how are you going to keep Amy around when you can't afford all of the fancy pants and lollipops? Oh, wait, you are not. Oh, wow. That's, I think that's one of the reasons why. You remember whenever he said that Amy was going to be gone, Amy and the kids were going to be gone for a full week? He said that he was going to work on a piano album, and then they were back like Monday or Tuesday. My thought on that was that whenever she and the kids left, he got so paranoid that she wasn't coming back that he made her come back. Now, that could be straight up just not true at all. But I haven't heard anything as to, like, it never was addressed as far as I understand. And the fact that he is not letting her go see Grandpa Jack, like, this is getting dark, I think. You looked back in despair because you looked at the truth, Owen. And the truth from your critics and detractors is something you, in your narcissistic rage and despair, can never handle. That's well said, County Coroner. This is the Texas Goat Radio Show. I'm your host, Matorius. As always, till next time.